Hello everyone, I'm Preshi from Hoax Games, and in this Unity video tutorial I'm going to show you how to set this scenery up, including the character, the world and the food placement script. The food placement is actually iStep, which is a script from myself, and the two other assets are from the asset store. They are paid assets, and I'm going to show you which one were used for this scene, for this setup, and I would say let's get started. So let's open the table of contents. So like I mentioned, all this consists of three assets: iStep, which is by me, and the Sci-Fi base by manufacturer K4, and the Sci-Fi character spec by Maskim Bukrinov. So we will start from zero. So we are going to create a new project. We are using the HDRP render pipeline. I'm calling this iStep. Oops, I have iStep video tutorial. So let's create this. While Unity is importing, I'm going to show you the three asset packs that we are using in this video tutorial and in this demonstration. So the first one, which is iStep, which is by me. Then secondly, which is Sci-Fi base by manufacturer K4. And the third, which is the Sci-Fi character spec volume 2 by Maxim Bukrimov. So Unity just loaded. I'm going to change the layout because I prefer, this was the wrong one. I prefer the tall layout. So this is the one we are going to use. The first step is to import the assets. So we are going to follow this table of contents. So we import the assets for HDRP first. So for that we go to the package manager, make sure you change this to my assets, and then I'm going to write iStep. So this is the first one that we are going to import. So let's import it. The next one we are going to import is the Sci-Fi base. So let's import this. So the Sci-Fi base finished importing. The next one is Sci-Fi pack. I hope I find it like that. Yes, here it is. So let's import this one as well. So we finished importing the character pack as well. Just so that you know, we are using Unity 2021.3.3 F1 here. The next we are going to do is we have to convert the characters because these characters come as built-in. We have to convert them to HDRP, and for that we have to open the HDRP wizard, and for that we simply convert all materials to HDRP. So let's proceed. This will take a while. So the material conversion finished. So let's continue. I know this took a long time, but that's how it is. So the next thing is make character humanoid. So let's do that next. So the character we are going to use is the character 10. So we go to this character, then to mesh, then we select the defender. This is the one we are going to use. You go to rig and change generic to humanoid and apply. So let's see what's next. Change animation settings. This is also very important. So for the animations that we are going to use, we have also to set them to humanoid. Actually, we can just select here everything, go to humanoid, and then copy from other avatar, and we select here the defender, mesh avatar as the source avatar, and apply. That's not everything that we have to do for the animations. We are going to use 3 of those, and for those 3 we have to change some settings. I chose the idle 01. We have to loop it and bake all that into the pose, and we apply. So this is the setting that we need. We need this for idle, we need this for run fast. So here the same, and we need this also for the walk animation. So we finished that, setting up the colliders. So the next step is very interesting. We have to open the scene that we are going to do all this on, and we are going to put everything on, which is the scene 2 HDRP from the Sci-Fi base package. Let's move somewhere so we see something by double clicking. So this is the scene. This is the smaller of the 2, there's the bigger one, but we are going to use the smaller one. And the problem with this scene is, and why we have to change something on the colliders, which typically you do differently, but for the purpose of this video we are going to do it this way that I'm going to show you. But first let's show the errors. So here, for example, there are just colliders set up wrong. You see the collider is placed on the wrongly. It's actually just the wrong collider, and we don't want to set this up right now in this tutorial for the whole scene. So what we are going to do is we are going to search for mesh collider. We press Ctrl A, select all. We remove all mesh colliders. Then we search here for mesh renderer. We again select one element, press Ctrl A, and say add component mesh collider. And now every mesh has a mesh collider. I know this is not the best way to do this, but for this tutorial it's completely fine. So we save this and we continue. The next step, and for me obviously the most interesting, is integrating iStep. So to do that we go to Hoax Games, iStep, and we have to import the iStep demo HDRP scene, which we haven't imported yet. So let's double click. This is a Unity package on its own with all the content. So this will also take some time to import. So the import finished, and we have to restart Unity. So Unity restarted, so we have everything imported for iStep. Actually, why we needed 2 packages here, one for the main iStep content, which is actually the scripts that you need. So if you have your own character controller and your own character which is already set up or anything like that, you just attach the FootIK script and you are ready to go. Typically that's how you do it, but in this case we are using content from the demo scene, which is in this case included as a separate package. For each render pipeline there's its own package, and in this case we want the HDRP package and we want the demo scene because we are getting something from the demo scene. I mean, I could show you the demo scene before we import everything in this one. So let's import the essentials. This is only necessary for the scene here. Actually, yeah, let's start. just to show you a short glimpse of iStep. Shaders are still compiling, that's why you have this magenta colored table here. So everything is working. So let's go back to our base, sci-fi base scene again. So we open it up again, and we also just drag and drop this one, the scene from Hoax games, inside. Everything looks broken, don't worry. We are going to take 3 components out of the scene, which are those 3. We just drag and drop it to the other scene, and we remove the iStep showcase demo scene. So we have now the character, a camera, and the player follow camera. So we go here and we press game. So please select the player armature, then go to game objects, move to view, so that we have our character in our scene. Let's move it somewhere like this. And also we have to change something on the camera, because you saw previously when I pressed play that there are 2 cameras attached. So we remove the second cam and we set this value to 1. Now the camera is set up, and actually we should be ready to play. Let's check it out. No, we are not. Why are we not? Because there's a camera still left in the scene. So let's search for camera, and we simply disable this camera so that our main camera from the scene that we took from the showcase demo to here is used. So we got our character here. Let's see if it works. So looks fine. This is the robot from the iStep demo scene. So let's see, integrate iStep. We are still at the integration of iStep, or let's say actually we have to integrate the character right now. iStep is already integrated. I forgot to put it into the scene, into the table of contents, sorry, that we actually, here we have to integrate the character. So let's save this, because that's the next step we are going to do. For that we go to the Sci-Fi character pack, character 10 prefab, and we chose Defender 4. This should be the white one. I mean, there are other colors as well. If you prefer another color, just choose the one that you like. We just drag and drop this under our player armature, so it's the children of the player armature. Then we remove the animator component. We also remove here the geometry. We remove the skeleton, and inside here we have to change the avatar. So we go to mesh, we make this bigger, and we drag and drop our avatar inside the animator, and we should be ready to go. But you see, this is very bright, so we will change this. We go to materials, we search for type material, and also only in materials we select all of those, and we change this to something like 200. So that's this. So actually if we press play now, it should work. So here's our character. He works, but the animations are obviously from the other robot, and these animations are from the demo scene. And also he has weird behavior when we run fast over the stairs. This is because some settings are not ideally set up for the character controller. For the stairs, we are going to do all that. We are also going to change the animations, which are just wrong. You see how his big weapon is on the wrong place. So let's fix this up. but you are seeing that iStep works pretty well out of the box already without changing any settings. Anyway, we still are going to improve the settings and the character and everything, and for that I'm going to use some helps. I made 2 screenshots here, and with these screenshots we are going to change the values. So for the character and controller, we just paste in what is written on the image. So let's do that. So we change the character controller settings, then we have to change this here as well. I'm not going to explain all the values right now and why we are doing it like that. I forgot something. You recognize we have a scale here. I wanted to make this character bigger, so we have to scale it. So let's scale it before I forget that. So that's right. You also see that there's some discrepancy between the screenshot and the values here. That's because the iStep version I'm using here is iStep 1.2, but the version on the image is iStep 1.2.2, which is a newer version which hasn't been released yet, but it's going to be released soon. So let's still change this to, let's say, 0.1, but I'm not going to use the same value because it's a different algorithm that is being used here. So let's move down to the food IK script, which is basically the core of iStep. This image we don't need anymore. This is the second image that we are going to copy the settings from and paste it here. So let's check it out. Here we have 6.5. Of course, because it's different version, the values may not be super optimal. You are seeing that here we have a upwards extrapolation and downwards extrapolation. Here we have only extrapolation. Yeah, that's how it is. Also, we have here automatic food rotation based height adaptation, which is here not a parameter, but it's fine. So it's still going to be very good. So let's change the other values and let's finish this up. Actually, the x-axis is wrong. I'm going to show you why. In the screenshot, this is wrong. It has to be the c-axis. I remember that, but let's finish the other values first. So we have a check grounded radius of 1, and here we have we have 0.72, and here we have 0.08 and 5. So let's close this. I'm going to show you right now why it's the c-axis. So if we press play, we still have the wrong animations, so we are going to fix this next. But first I'm going to show you what I mean by on this rotation thing. If we click here, actually the leaning behavior is only applied when we move. It's not really applied when we stand, but we can force it to be applied, and you see how the character rotates. He is rotating on the wrong axis, and to fix that we change this to the c-axis, so now it's the right axis. So we don't want to have this forced, but if we would run now with a given velocity, he would apply or change his stance based on velocity. Exactly. So let's end this for now. We have to change the animations next. For doing that, we scroll up, we double click the start assets third person controller, so this one opens up. We click the idle walk run blend, double click it, and then we have to change idle, walk and run. And for that we go to here where the animations are, where we changed the settings previously. So we take the idle, put it here, we take the walk and we put it here. We have to change the speed of the walk to 2, and also here we have to change the threshold to 4. And for the run we need the run fast, so let's take the run fast here and drag and drop it there. So let's go back to the scene, let's press play and let's see if the animations are being applied and if they work. No, they don't, and that's the walk animation which has a bug. So let's check the walk animation. What have we forgotten? We forgot to apply the loop. So let's apply it, and now it works. Also the camera looks very zoomed, too much zoomed in my opinion. So let's change the full camera value for the body. We change the camera distance to 5, and also in game mode we play maximized, and we should be done. So these are the correct animations. We should also be able to run down here now with all the settings we applied to the character controller without any falling down behaviors, because sometimes if the settings are wrong, the character controller obviously will react wrong and that's why some settings have just to be set up correctly. So let's check if there's anything we forgot. No, the last step, which was apply settings, is what we just did. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it, and that's how everything looks. We can have a look if you want at the rest of the level. So let's run around and see how iStep also does on these stairs and everything. So let's run around a little bit. You see perfect feet placement and everything works and looks high quality. I hope you enjoyed this video and have fun doing what I just did. You don't have to use the same scenes as I did. You don't have to use the same character as I did. However, I like this scenery and that's why I showed it you there. But please do me a favor and use iStep for doing that, because you would help me a lot and support me for that. So get iStep and see you next time.